Hello. So I come from a very long line of women that live forever. Seriously, they never die. Even the ones that you want to die, they won't die. My great Aunt Mary, she lived into 103. My grand lived into 101. And their mother, my great granny, lived into 101. So chances are, if I live as long as my female ancestors, being a 47-year-old woman pretty much means I'm still in puberty, which explains a lot. And thank you. The young guy in the front row is like, wow, that hot cougar doesn't look a day over 45. Thank you. That's my son. Now, my gran, who lived to 101, she was quite a character. My gran loved powerful men. She loved flawed, powerful men, and she cut them a lot of slack. Like, you guys are all familiar with what happened with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky in the 90s? For those of you who might not know Bill Clinton, he was the president of the United States. He got caught having an affair with like a 22-year-old intern named Monica Lewinsky. Now, one of the big scandals of the story was that apparently she gave him fellatio underneath his desk in the Oval Office. Now, I was a young woman when the whole story broke, so I was like, wow, I thought he was a real creepy old man. My gran totally defended him. She was like, you look here, dear, you have no idea the stress that man is under. He needs a release. It's like, what the heck? And I think the reason why my gran defended these powerful men so much is because she came from an era where she didn't have her own power, you know? Like, during the Depression, when she was a child, she had to quit school and work in a factory. So she found her power through powerful men. And I often thought, like, what would it have been like for her if things were different? And then I saw this program where they were examining the different gender roles in the animal kingdom, and it was hysterical. I learned a lot. Like, the penguin, apparently, is a matriarchal society. Female penguin, she lays an egg, and then she buggers off and has like a 6-month Club Med swimming holiday. It's incredible. We often think of the lion to be the king of the jungle, when in fact, the male lion does very little to no hunting. It's the female lion that does almost all the hunting. The reason why? The male lion, he likes to sleep all day, and he doesn't like running because his hair gets in his eyes. That's like dating a musician. Apparently, that person has dated a musician. Glad that joke is relevant. The octopus cracked me up. The male octopus, he's got this extra long tentacle, and it's a sperm tentacle. And he swims around with his sperm tentacle, and he can smell when the female octopus is ovulating. So he goes up to her, he rips his sperm tentacle off, he chucks it at her. She grabs it, she services herself, and swims away. That is the most literal go screw yourself I have ever heard of. But the lemurs, they were my favorite. Lemurs are a female-dominant society, and within a pack of lemurs, 1 or 2 females will go into heat once or twice a year. And all the other males, they audition to mate with her. It's kind of like an Animal Kingdom version of The Bachelorette. It's amazing. And the way the male lemurs audition is that they take their tail and they pull it up in between their legs, and they quickly rub their chest and their genitals with it. This guy's like, that's a great move, lady, all right? It's like, don't knock it. That's his Friday night special, yeah. So little lemur, he takes his tail, pulls it up, and he rubs his chest and his genitals with it, and then he sticks his tail up in the air, and then he walks past the female in heat, and she smells it. If she likes the way it smells, she'll mate with him. And if she doesn't like the way it smells, she's allowed to get aggressive, and she bitch slaps him. And if he gets rejected, he becomes submissive. And he's like, oh, okay, I get it. You're not into this. Okay, all right. We're good, though, right? We're good? Okay, I respect you. I'll call you. And he leaves. I was like, wow, imagine if that kind of behavior happened in the human world, you know? Like, you're out on a Friday, Saturday night. There's a dude out. He wants to pick up, goes into a room full of attractive ladies at a bar, and he thinks to himself, I have a genius idea. Takes his hands, rubs his genitals. And he's like, ladies, who wants it? Right here, I got it. He's at the bar, he's hitting on a lady, he's making progress. He thinks to himself, I'm gonna seal the deal. He does one of those, he's like, you know you want it. And she responds the same way as a female lemur when she's not interested. She bitch slaps him. Now, interestingly, in the human world, not all men, I repeat, not all men. But some men, they don't respond the same way as a male lemur when they get aggressively rejected. Right? Some of them get a little bit aggressive and defensive in return. So all I'm saying is, ladies, if you're ever at a bar and you're continually being hit on inappropriately by a dude who will not take no for an answer, just remember, there is a nearly extinct small primate in Madagascar who is more socially evolved than him. I'm just saying you got options, all right? I like it. The lady's clapping over there. The guy from Scotland's like, not very funny, but very interesting National Geographic lecture. Thank you. Aye. Thank you, Jane Goodall. Aye. Aye. Look at her. She's like, wrong accent, you stupid Canadian. Yeah. But yeah, and it's funny. So then after that, I saw, you know, they were going on to examine different tribes of apes. And it was funny because apes are very different in their behavior. You know, like the chimpanzees, they're the most violent apes that we know of. And the reason why, when the male ape, when he feels threatened by another tribe of apes, he becomes so insecure that he becomes psychotic and he just goes out and he starts murdering all the apes. It's horrible. Then on the other end of the pendulum, we have the bonobos. The bonobos are the most peaceful apes we know of. They are also the most sexually active, and they are our closest relatives. And what happens is that when the male bonobo, when he feels threatened by another tribe, the female bonobo, she senses this. She senses his insecurity. So she takes him into a secluded area, and she gives him fellatio. And after he has fellatio, the male bonobo's like, you know what? I don't feel like murdering anyone anymore. I'm good, I'm all right, I'm good. Which brings me back to what my gran was talking about. Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. I mean, maybe she had a point, you know? That poor girl was bullied and slut-bashed for years. Maybe she saved us all from nuclear war. Maybe she should have got the Nobel Peace Prize award. Interestingly enough, too, when the male bonobo was interviewed afterwards, he did not commit perjury. He was totally honest. He was like, I did have sexual relations with that female bonobo. That's right. Primates for the win. Once more, I like it.